think, what are you literally asking when you say these things? My cleaner is vacuuming, so I'm really sorry if you can hear that. Elle passe l'aspirateur. Yeah, so elle passe l'aspirateur. Donc je suis désolé si vous l'entendez. Si vous l'entendez. Si vous l'entendez, sorry.
So you leave Seattle, it's like mountains, and then midway through it turns into like desert.
So when you leave Seattle, it's mountains, and midway through it turns into desert. So en sortant de Seattle, il y a des montagnes. Mais à mi-chemin, halfway through, ça devient le désert. Now, let's say the ways. First, there's lots of mountains. Tout d'abord, au début, il y a beaucoup de montagnes. After the desert, après le désert. Let's say we don't know the word for desert. Après, c'est plus sec. It's drier. It's flatter. C'est plus plat. There's lots of sand. Il y a beaucoup de sable. Yeah? Let's just say you're basically saying, first of all, there's mountains, but then there aren't. Il y a des montagnes, après, il n'y en a pas, there aren't any. Yeah? Or there's no more mountains, il y a plus de montagnes. Let's just say you didn't even know the freaking word for flat. You can use your hands, you're communicating. Au début, il y a des montagnes, mais après, c'est comme ça. Do not forget the power of non-verbal communication. Says somebody who teaches languages.
It's like on the eastern side of the state, it's more deserty.
On the eastern side of the state, it's more deserty. This is why I record people, because it just shows off how gorgeously colloquial and individual and brilliant our own English is, and then how we've got to make that a little bit more standard. So on the eastern side of the state, on the east side of the state, yeah, okay, towards the east side of the state, vers le côté est. So I nearly said the eastern coast, the east coast. Vers le côté est, there are more mountains. Il y a plus de montagnes. To the east, à l'est, okay, il y a plus de montagnes. And then it becomes more deserty. Après, ça se transforme en, that transforms into, ça devient, yeah. There's a reduction of, il y a une réduction de montagnes. There are fewer mountains. Il y a moins de montagnes. See what I mean? We can just, so many things are giving us the same mental image.
Yeah. So yours is a state which has got variety. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good. If you didn't have to work, where in the world would you live?
If you didn't have to work, where in the world would you live? Literally, si tu ne devais pas travailler, où est-ce que tu habiterais? Okay? Now, this is what I call the classic imperfect conditional partnership, and I must remember to stick the video for that underneath as well. So, either way, one of these sentences is going to use the imperfect, one of them is going to use, so the dream will always be in the conditional, and the phrase after if will be in the imperfect. So let's see if we can do it with easier verbs. So if you had lots of money, you know, if you didn't have to work, which is what we're basically saying, if you had lots of money, or if you were rich, si tu étais riche, everybody can manage was, si tu étais riche, si tu avais beaucoup d'argent, where would you choose to live? Où est-ce que tu choisirais, or where is it you would live? Same thing. We're assuming that if it was where would you live, there's an element of choice in it. Où est-ce que tu habiterais? Or where would you buy a house? Où est-ce que tu achèterais une maison? So, same grammar, but just much easier verbs. Let's keep going for a little bit with Ryan. Right, so maybe Japan, peut-être Japon. So that is the kind of thing that we can't really... Okay, I think Japan, je pense Japon. I'm not sure, Japan, je suis pas sûr, Japon. But we need the word for Japan there. So for example, but what's glorious about that is it shows us, in all of everything we've done so far, that's the first time that we have definitely needed one specific word. Yeah? Japon.
Japan.
The food is really, I love food.
So, I love the food. So, j'aime bien la nourriture, j'aime bien la bouffe, j'aime bien la cuisine. I like to eat there. J'aime bien manger là, j'aime bien y manger. When I eat there, I am always very happy. Quand je mange là, je suis toujours très content. Notice that in going round, if you weren't quite sure of the word for food, your going round might have given us more sentences. That doesn't matter. That's not a problem.
Everyone's really nice over there.
Everyone's very nice. Tout le monde est très sympa là-bas. If you forgot the word for nice, tout le monde est très content. I like the people over there. It gives me the same image. J'aime les gens là-bas. J'aime les personnes là-bas, although it's a bit less correct. J'aime les Japonais. I like the Japanese.
Which is very interesting.
When did you first go to Japan?
When did you first go to Japan? Literally. So, quand t'étais la première fois, when was the first time que tu y es allé, that you went there? Or when was your first trip? Quand était ton premier séjour? You went there for the first time when? Tu y es allé pour la première fois quand? You visited Japan, tu as visité Japon. Notice I can use visiter there, but I can't use, visiter with a person. Pour la première fois. It was what year? C'était quelle année? It was when? C'était quand? The first time was when? So we've just been talking about Japan. So if you suddenly say the first time was when, it's fairly obvious we're not asking about your other first times in life, which is a whole other video. Bit more and then we'll do some of the lovely Jason.
Probably about 10 years ago.
Lovely. So he said 10 years ago. Lovely. Il y a 10 ans. 10 years ago. You might not know the way construction of saying ago. So what year are we now? We are 2020. So what was 10 years ago? 2010. 2010. Yeah? Or he is now sort of 30 something. So you could say when I was 20, quand j'avais 20 ans. Yeah? So there's other ways to make that point. I mean, okay, if you really run out of ideas, you're not going to say, during the Bush administration or something like that. You're not going to sort of find a way of doing it. But this is my point. There's many ways of doing it.
Do you have any Japanese family or friends?
Do you have any Japanese family or friends? Est-ce que vous avez de la famille ou des amis d'origine japonaise? Or, do you know anybody from Japan? Est-ce que tu connais quelqu'un du Japon? Du Japon. De Japon in this case, sorry. Est-ce que tu... countries use the article the. Normally, so like le Japon, la France, but in that case you can get away with that. What else? Do you know someone who's Japanese? Est-ce que tu connais quelqu'un qui est japonais? Do you have a Japanese friend? Est-ce que tu as un ami ou une amie japonais, japonaise? Do you know somebody from there? Est-ce que tu connais quelqu'un de là? Is there somebody in your life who... I mean, imagine for whatever reason you hypothetically, temporarily forgot the verb connaître. Is there somebody in your life who is Japanese? Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un dans ta vie qui est japonais? Yeah, makes the same point.
My mom is Japanese.
Do you speak Japanese?
And then he told me his mom was Japanese, which explains why he's got really nice Eurasian almond eyes. I just thought he was a lucky, handsome bastard. Ma mère est japonaise. Ma mère est d'origine japonaise. Ma mère vient de là. My mum comes from there. My mother was born in Japan. Ma mère est née au Japon.
With your mum?
No, so she's like third generation.
Right, so let's do some... so she's third generation. Elle est troisième génération. Her family has lived in the States for a long time. Ça fait plusieurs années que sa famille habite aux États-Unis, ou sa famille habite aux États-Unis depuis il y a or her family moved to the States, whatever, 70 years ago. Sa famille a déménagé aux États-Unis il y a 70 ans. Many ways, same point. Talking about it's the Asian persuasion. We're going over to Jason, who is of Chinese origin, who's another brilliant student. I love teaching anybody with any Asian DNA. They really, genuinely do well with languages. Don't know what it is, even if they're third, fourth generation Western, they always do well. Even if they grew up not speaking any language particularly, they always do well. They always do well. It's not to criticise the American side of them, but just, yeah, the Asian thing, people do really well. And as for teaching people who have Asian parents in a tutoring capacity, oh my gosh, it's just a dream. The tiger mother exists. It's like, have you done your homework for Luke? It's brilliant. Brilliant. Love, love, love. Sorry, stereotypes are not cool, but when there are positive stereotypes saying we admire how much you freaking work, bring on the stereotype. So, we've got Jason.
Or to life. Like, it's good to practice your French, but there's also...
It's good to practice your French. It's a good idea to practice your French. C'est une bonne idée de pratiquer ton français. Jason here kept saying pratiquer rather than pratiquer. So let's say we were avoiding the word practice. It's a good idea to do your French. C'est une bonne idée de faire ton français. You need when you do a little bit of work in French, it's good. Quand tu fais un peu de travail en français, c'est bien, ça fait du bien. C'est une bonne idée. Je suis content.
More to life as well, do you know what I mean? So,
There's more to life. There are other hobbies in life. Il y a d'autres loisirs dans la vie. You have other things to do. Tu as d'autres choses à faire. In French, you've got other cats to whip. T'as d'autres chats à fouetter. That's how you say it, yeah? You haven't got just that. Tu n'as pas que ça. Tu n'as pas seulement ça. You are very busy. Tu es très occupé. Yeah?
so so you've been practicing your Spanish, yeah?
You've practiced your Spanish. Tu as pratiqué ton espagnol. Notice tense-wise, guys, we do not have you have been practicing. We do not have that tense in French. You've done a bit of Spanish. This was me joking. Tu as fait un peu d'espagnol. Okay? I don't know Spanish well at all. Je ne sais pas parler en espagnol. Je ne peux pas parler en espagnol. Je connais pas la langue espagnole. Je connais pas l'espagnol. Different ways.
When people speak in Spanish, I would think of the response in French.
When people, because he's just been to Mexico, so when people would speak in Spanish, I would think of the response in French. Quand les gens me parlent en espagnol, je penserai à la réponse en français. So when people spoke to me, quand les gens m'en parlaient, or quand les gens me parlaient, whether it would be one time or several times, or whether he's looking at it as one time or several times, I would respond. Je répondais en espagnol. I would want to respond in French. Je voulais répondre en français. I would think. Now notice, I would think here is a slightly classic way, go Jason, of using the was. It's not in the future I would do. It's like, hey, as a child, I would do this, meaning I used to do this. So it's the imperfect. So I would think in French. I was thinking in French. Je pensais en français. Or I used to find the answer in French. Je trouvais la réponse en français. Or I could hear French. Je pouvais entendre le français. Same idea, same description. The person listening to you gets the idea.
I was trying to think of a different language.
Yeah. I mean, it is a very different mental thing to have one language and to have more than one, because it's like...
It's a very different mental thing to have one language and to have more than one. So literally, c'est très différent au niveau mental d'avoir une langue et d'en avoir plusieurs. Differently. It's different when you have two foreign languages. C'est différent quand tu as deux langues étrangères. When you speak French and something else, it changes. Quand tu parles le français et quelque chose de différent, ça change. By the way, parler français versus parler le français. A lot of people in French forget this. Beaucoup de personnes en français l'oublient. Parler français means just the act of speaking French. Parler le français means the ability to do it. So moi je parle français, me I speak French. Je parle français avec ma mère, for example. I speak French with my mom. Yeah? Different thing.
When you've got one token other place, one token other language, then you fall upon that really easily. When you've got a couple, it's sort of like...
So we've said the same point there already.
Come out with the one and not the other, is to teach people to accent in your mouth. So a lot of the time, people that slip up between different languages.
So a lot of the time, people who slip up between different languages. This is the point I'm making, by the way, guys. If any of you do speak other languages, one of the ways to not keep slipping between the two of them is to be really, 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 really detailed in your accent. Because if you use a muscle memory and so for example, I speak French, I speak Spanish, I speak Italian. Obviously, French is much, much closer to my heart and upbringing and life. But, so for example, when I've just spoken Spanish, to then speak Italian is like, or vice versa. So you just have to really focus on the accent, and then your mouth doesn't accidentally go in the wrong thing. So let's just translate what we've said. Let's look at the different ways of saying it.